close those as I start to train. Quite a lot of block movement that I need to do. So what I'll most likely do is on the far side I have the 12-inch blocks at the bottom, so I don't have to do as much there. But to work on this one, because the 12 inch is not all the way at the bottom, so obviously I want to have the same block. So I'll put the 12-inch one in the topper, and then you're ready to go. But in a sense, this will be my warm-up. I'm trying to think of the most efficient way to do this, but the topper's probably over here. I have to move it over a little bit. And then this block will go underneath the shelf. And then this one, I have to move right here. So then I can move the blocks. This monstrosity. Not fun, but almost done with one half of it, but I'm not gonna put the topper on that yet. This bad boy's gotta go over there. Basically have to do a strongman event when I'm moving these darn things. Alright. Now we have block number 1 set up. Block 2 is already in its spot. This one. Forgot to brush off one part of the bar. There we go. Close this up. Keep hearing the ice cream truck outside. It's been storming all day. Not the best day for ice cream. Gotta get some of these plates over here out the way so I can turn the rack. Alright. Almost set up. There we go. Whew. What is up? Did my warm up of moving all of the blocks. So now I can start warming up with le bar. Let me turn this a little bit. I think, yeah, you can see the bar. ice cream song on that truck sounds terrible. The song just stopped too. That was weird. I guess someone wanted some ice cream. Could hear it like them hit a button to turn it off. That was pretty funny. Well, we're back to it. Found a pin. Most important part of training. It is actually really warm out, which is nice. Which means I don't really need this hat, but kind of like wearing it. So we're doing doubles in the block snatch. Last week I tried to do triples at 100. So with doubles, I'm going to aggressively try to do 4 doubles at 110. And then block clean and jerk. We'll do a 2 plus 1. Go 70, 100. Probably honestly just go 70, 110, 135, and then maybe 145. Because there's a 2 plus 1, so to see how it feels. And then maybe front squats. But we gotta attack the snatches first. So we gotta warm up a bit more though. That is for sure. Plate movement scared the Jesus out of me. Alright, it's time for sleeves. Since it's the easiest to put them on at the beginning of training. Put my dance shoes on too. Alrighty. Lose the glasses. I don't need to see anything. Do the bar at least one more set, maybe two. No rush. Throw some weight on. Alright, so first warm up, I guess. Unless you count the bar. First warm up. Raining again. But we'll do 40 again. Do full reps. Hit some burps. All right. What's up, Groot? Groot. All right. Thank you, Kellen. Alright, so 110 will be the next jump. Alright, so ideally I do a double, and then we go up. It feels easy, so we'll see. Didn't have the double there. But the first rep felt real good. We're just gonna go up and do singles. All right. Oh, couldn't finish it. That was not even difficult. It's just a lazy attempt. That's all that was. Yep. slow. It doesn't feel far off. I just have to pull it back. It's kind of annoying. Literally putting it right there and just not extending enough. Just gotta man up and do it. Just dumb that I can do it on the third one, not the first one. wish. It's too slow. Early. Didn't commit. Do it. That's to do it. It's so close. It's obnoxious. no reason I could have done it the first time. Next 3 weeks, I'll have that weight easy, be able to try more. To earn it though. I didn't earn a heavier attempt today. We're gonna do 1 plus 1 to clean jerks to see what I can do with those. Alright. Clean jerk time. What's up? Alright, 150.
One more try.
Thanks, brother. I haven't done a 150 from the blocks like that, the block clean, in a very long time. Clean felt really good. Jerk honestly didn't feel too bad. I was able to hold it for a while too. I extended the hold as well, which is always good to. Oh, just got more aggressive on the dip drive. Oh, that was hard. But to even attempt it twice is already good, and obviously to make it is even better. But I haven't done a 150 block clean in a very long time. Trust me, I spend the whole time when I'm sitting there like huffing and puffing trying to convince myself I'm there. It is so difficult for me, for block cleans. It is so much like mental gymnastics to convince myself just to go. It actually looked like a good technical lift too, which is good. But it just feels impossible. And it's like committing to pulling it longer and just knowing that the speed's not going to be there that it would be if I was pulling from the ground. But that's definitely where we stopped doing those. Now, part of me was thinking of doing like front squats and pulls too. My low back is really pumped, and I'm assuming some DOMs from the squats I did Tuesday at this point. Yeah, Tuesday. So that, and with the intensity of both the snatch and the clean jerk from them, what I am going to do instead, so I'm not going to front squat because that doesn't sound smart. What I'm going to do is actually sit and do mobility work, but do the ab wheel as well, and maybe even do some cardio. Because then the next time, like tomorrow will be like nothing, and Saturday will be like the heavy singles. Yeah, what I find, like obviously overhead press helps, but I would hammer push presses. Those always make my jerks feel really powerful. Even though today, my like front rack when I'm holding it, I didn't feel like how I felt actually yesterday when I was doing push presses, where I was like locked into it and I was like, oh, I can press the world. Today it felt heavy holding it, but when I do a lot of push presses, I'll get that feeling. And in a competition, when you're all hyped up, when you like rack the bar, it just feels really light, where you just feel really like tight and powerful, and locked in to the bar. So it makes it a lot easier. But like trying to get that feeling, I get it a lot with push presses when they're going well. I guess it's kind of I've never heard anyone call it to that, but it's a push press. If you like what Dmitry Klokov does, really common weightlifting exercise. But yeah, I guess in essence it's like an overhead press where you drive up. So it's just a jerk, like you dip drive of a jerk, and you stand up and then press. So you don't re-dip your legs. So it's like a cheating overhead press, I guess. But it's really good for working on your leg drive for the jerk, but also obviously your shoulders as well. Obviously you want to do both. You don't just want to do one or the other, because the push press trains more, I think, more of your jerk drive than your actual shoulders. And that's not to say it's not like 100% one or the other. Well, like overhead press obviously doesn't train your jerk squat at all really, but it trains like, you know, your upper body. So it's good to do both. How I trained it yesterday, so I did push press first. I did some behind the neck jerks, but I was kind of cooked from push presses doing those, and then I ended the session with just regular overhead press. At the end of the day, push press is a priority lift. That's why I did it first. Behind the neck jerk is good to practice getting a heavy weight up if you can, or just rack jerks in general. And then overhead press is good for. I always save it for the end. Like it's never a primary lift, because you just want to get that volume in. It's not really important what the actual weight is for something like that necessarily. Not that it isn't. It's just not as much as like a push press. If I push press a lot, like a really heavy weight, then that is always a really good sign. Overhead press is more like a general lift. Like it doesn't necessarily for me correlate to like, I don't hit like a really heavy overhead press and be like, I'm going to clean and jerk a lot of weight now. But it all correlates. It's not as far away from the main lifts as far as the correlation versus for me like a deadlift or something. Definitely carries over more than that, but yeah, push presses are certainly important. And they also vary a lot depending on the person. Some people can push press a really high percentage of their clean jerk. I'm not, I guess, a bad percentage necessarily, but I'm certainly kind of at the point of my strength now where I should be getting closer to 140 in the push press, and I'm certainly not. But me pushing to get to that point will correlate to extremely big jerks, which is of course the goal for everyone in weightlifting. But yeah, but if you're at 90 or what's 190 in pounds or in kilos? So what's that, like 86 kilos? So if you're at 86 kilos in the clean jerk, either one, like you're not going to go wrong doing overhead press or push press. You really have to do both, but like at that level of strength, you're going to benefit from doing literally any sort of pressing. And of course, there's the exception, like if you're, super strong, and it's not going to help as much. Like if you came from like powerlifting or strongman, like overhead press might not actually help you that much. If your shoulders are already really strong, you might need more practice in the actual push press to work on how to use your legs for the jerk. But those are usually most weightlifters aren't coming in with excessive arm strength. At least I certainly didn't. But I think most weightlifters start with relative, like compared to like a strongman, like a relatively weak upper body. Maybe I'm just saying that for myself because I did. I had a pretty good bench press, but my overhead press was not strong at all. I would say a 330 pound bench press is respectable for sure. Really anything, really I guess is relative to body weight, but I'd say once you hit 315 on the bench press, you're kind of goated. I don't understand those people who can do 405. It kind of hurts my brain. But I don't think I would have ever been to that point, even if I stuck with powerlifting. The arms are a bit too long. I think probably like 365 would have been probably about my bench pressing limit. Maybe 100, maybe 375, like something like that, if I was really dedicated to it. Especially considering like how much stronger I've gotten from the point from which I did the 150 kilo bench press. My shoulders are significantly stronger. I would argue my chest is probably generally stronger. It just doesn't have that specific practice for the lift. And I weigh more as well, which helps. But I lack an important component, and that is the desire to ever bench press heavy. I feel like if I got really heavy, if I got to like 275, then I'd bench press pretty well. But I don't ever want to weigh that much. If I was truly going to be like a strong man or something, I actually have a large enough frame where I could, in theory, pharmaceuticals and everything, like I could add a lot of mass. I have a larger frame, but at a certain point it becomes detrimental to just living. Like 240 is probably the most I ever want to weigh, and that's kind of like the limit. Or I guess my weight class is 242, but like pushing beyond 242 or whatever, then I'm getting kind of fat, and I don't really want to be fat. I don't really think I'm going to build enough muscle to justify weighing more, unless I just wanted to be a fat super heavyweight. I don't really want to. I'd rather be a bit, not even for aesthetics, I just feel like it probably is better for lifting for me to move a little bit faster, because I'm just going to get big and slow. So I'm already slow in general. But block work is good for me for that reason. Speed under the bar, the aggression under the bar, because I am naturally slow. least for like the turnover. I can stand up a weight quick, but I can get under pretty slow. But even though I love block snatches, that's actually a reason why I should do them a lot is for that. It's just speed under the bar, and when you're focusing on that, it just kind of makes you more aggressive. And for me, it always correlates pretty well. I'll be curious to see how doing all these block clean and jerks more consistently will carry over to the regular clean and jerks. But for snatches, if I'm getting under heavy weights from the blocks, it's usually a good correlative lift for me. Not even just because I enjoy it, but just because it's literally like a weakness of mine, the speed under the bar. So isolating that's always going to be good. But that's all she wrote. So I'm going to go in, do some ab wheel, do a lot of mobility work. I really need to start like getting crazy with that. And then, honestly, I might do some cardio. I might not. We'll see. But I definitely want to hit some ab wheel and definitely mobility slash like band work and stuff just to get some upper body hypertrophy in addition to what I did yesterday, just to do some extra work. And yeah, just make sure that I'm trying to get more limber. That's something that as you gain body weight or as you get bigger, you lose some of that. I've noticed my front rack has gotten worse over the years. I think part of that's being a little bit older, but also I have a lot more muscle mass in my upper body, so it does kind of get in the way in that regard. Which is I never had a great front rack to start out with, so it's something I kind of have to pay attention to and think about. Because when I started front squats, like powerlifting, front squat I couldn't really do a front rack very comfortably, and then once I got the mobility, granted I was like 190 to 200 pounds at that point, I was able to have a full grip in a front squat and do it. Um, and maintain it. I was even able to use straps for front squats to really stretch out that position, but I was able to do it comfortably for like heavy reps. But after I got bigger in the upper body, I eventually just wasn't able to do that, or if I did, it was with tons of pressure on my wrist. So it's always something you can improve on a little bit, but at some sort of junction, it's kind of like me in like squat jerks. Like I'm never gonna do a good squat jerk. My arms are just not built. They're too long, and I also don't have like extra mobility in my shoulders for being in that position, and really in my upper back and thoracic. Like I would have to have an extreme amount of mobility, just being a little bit longer in general and taller for something like that. And that kind of holds true for most things. But my arms aren't particularly longer than my height, but they are the same length as my height. So I think it's probably something to do with literal the distance between my wrist and elbow. But I don't know. There's probably some proportion things that make it a little bit more difficult. And maybe I'm just coping because it's hard, but when I was smaller, it was a little bit easier, but it was something I had to work at and be able to maintain. But yeah, it's what happens when you get yoked. You have to deal with stuff like that. Not that I'm even that jacked, but I do I do have the body mass. But that's it for this one. Thanks for stopping by, Hills, for the conclusion, the climax, the best part of the training session, and now to go in and do the other stuff I talked about: ab wheel, mobility, and band work, and time to really